what is a good first industry to really dive into, where we can really make a lot of change on the safety side, but also on the smart side and energy savings and the ease of use side. People in marinas tend to be older. They have to bend down and plug up with a collar that locks on. It's called a locking type. And that's not exactly the easiest for a lot of people that age. Heck, some people my age, 22, have trouble with physical capabilities and connections, just bending over. Maybe they've got a disc issue in the back or whatnot. So our technology solves that by you have a plug, get it close, it magnetically pulls together, and if you want to release it, you twist and the magnet repels itself. So that's a really nice thing on that side, but we're also solving some other big issues in marinas. With respect to electrical savings, there's a thing called peak demand, and it's a charge that everyone gets if you look on your residential bill or you look on your marina operator bill. You're going to see about a big chunk of energy is essentially taxed or on top of what your normal electricity usage is. And the reason for that is electrical generation companies like BC Hydro here in Vancouver, they need to guarantee you, the user, that you can have up to this much energy, because that's sometimes during the month you use that peak amount. And because of that, to have that kind of supply always at the ready, that costs them extra money, which they pass on to you. So VoltSafe is able to take those peaks and valleys, and because in the marina, there's all these different slips, we're able to load cycle, essentially turn off the loads on boats that are just sitting there. You know, boat owners only use their boats on average, this was a study done, 8 days in a year. The other, 357 days a year, they're sitting in the slip or whatnot doing nothing. So having them always connected is just charging their batteries or whatnot. It can be cycled off for about 20 minutes. So when everyone in the boat, it's a sunny day and you've got this beautiful spike happening of electricity because everyone's turning on their AC, or maybe it's a cold day and everyone's turning on their heaters in their boats that are already set, but they're not even there. We're able to load cycle so that that peak doesn't happen. And when you don't have this big peak, what happens is your monthly bill dramatically drops. A lot of marinas, their peak demand charge is 30 to 40% in some cases. And we're able to reduce about 50%, almost 50% of that load using our algorithm for artificial intelligence, essentially meaning machine learning. So that's one other aspect. And also that reduces the overall electricity too, so it's great. The remaining aspect is safety. Having electricity always live by water is not a good thing. Boats are what's called leaky. They will leak a small amount of current into the water. And why that's bad is, well, if someone jumps in, especially in freshwater, because our bodies are salty and the electricity wants to travel through the salty part of our bodies, it results in, our muscles seizing and electric shock drowning ends up happening. They basically sink to the bottom and they drown. They don't die necessarily because of the shock, they just drown. So to avoid this type of stuff, our technology actually, you plug into the shore power connector to your boat, and it actually will tell you how much leakage is happening from your boat. And that's just telling you there's some devices on my boat or something that's happening on my boat that is leaking into the water, which is dangerous, and you can actually look to fix that. On the marina side, we also check over ground, which means we're able to determine what's leaking from the outside in the water already into your boat, which means other boats or the marina. So we're able to capture that, which allows the marine electrician to come in and actually pinpoint that. This is a big problem that's been swept under the rug because no one truly knows how to easily fix it by, usually it's a general area and they're like, they try to fix it and they don't know where it necessarily is. So there's a lot of new regulations coming to try and help address that. Our technology actually future-proofs that. even the requirement of these essentially ground fault circuit interrupters, that's now a new requirement. Our technology itself acts as an ELCI breaker inside. So a lot of things we solve on the safety side. Fire and that with the connectors, what happens is you have a female connector and male connector, 30 amps or 50 amps. They connect them together. What they can't see is inside that female connector is the live metal, and that metal is actually all corroded because of the salt water in the air, and that corrosion happens. And when they connect that, it increases what's called impedance or resistance. And what that does is, although you're still getting electricity to your boat, it's actually heating up the plug. It's basically not a clean connection. And that heat goes up and up and you have a meltdown. So last year, we actually had a boat fire on a dock in False Creek, and it took down one entire dock, and about 4 or 5 boats were completely destroyed. So these are things that VoltSafe, because when it connects, it has to check for that electrical fingerprint. That electrical fingerprint is actually resistance. So if it sees a different thing, because maybe there's rust or maybe there's something on it, water, anything, it'll actually just say, clean your contact, because it's actually not clean at the moment.